don't go and try and start your business right out of college. Go and spend a little bit of time at a company that is actually facing significant problems, because you're going to learn a tremendous amount. Now, earlier, and I will disagree with Mr. Perez from Ford about going to work at a Ford. I would argue that it probably doesn't make sense to go and work at a Google, at a Facebook, at a Twitter, mainly because these companies are so incredibly large that you're going to be pigeonholed into doing one very specific thing for an extended period of time. When Gmail launched back in, 2004, it launched global product that almost overnight had millions of people on it. It launched with 20 engineers, one product manager, and half a marketing resource. Now, about 5 years ago, I was talking to the product manager that launched that product, and he was telling me that there was one product manager focused on the archive button. And that's basically what happens. Once you get to a certain scale, once you get to a certain size, the overall impact that you're going to have is going to be much, much smaller. Now, should you join a startup? Obviously at a startup, they don't have a lot of people, you're going to learn a lot, you're going to be doing a lot of things. But the thing with startups is that 95% of them fail, right? 4.999% achieve some level of success, like the Uyala acquisition. And then 0.0001% are the ones that turn into the Googles, the Facebooks, the Slacks of the world, that grow incredibly fast and are multi-billion-dollar companies. I think as a company or as an individual, you need to join a rocket ship, a company that's going through exponential growth. So Sheryl Sandberg, which you just saw on the last slide, on this slide, she's a woman right next to Mark Zuckerberg. She's the COO. During the Bill Clinton administration, she was basically the chief of staff for the Treasury Department. So indirectly, she managed thousands of people. And after Bill Clinton was out of office, she was trying to get into the private sector. And she was offered CEO roles, she was offered COO roles at companies with hundreds, thousands of people. She just happened to sit in, I believe, first class, next to the CEO of Google at the time. And they kind of met, they kind of started talking. I don't think they knew each other back then. And Eric Schmidt said, you really should come look at Google. And seriously look at Google. Google is a rocket ship. And this, I think, is incredibly important. I think you want to join fast growth companies that are just starting to become real companies. Because you're going to learn a tremendous amount. You're going to be given a tremendous amount of access and responsibility, which is ultimately going to help you in the future. What's also really interesting about joining rocket ships is that they start to hire and retain amazing talent. Talent that in the future can be your investors, your co-founders, your partners. So the people that I worked with at Google at the time, Sheryl's the COO of Facebook now. Gokul Rajaram, who is my boss, runs basically all the product and technology at Square. Sundar Pichai and Nick Fox are people who are still at Google and running Google. And these are some of the things that you get to do at a company that's at 100, 200 people, but on its way to 1,000 or several thousand. So the thing that you're going to ask is, well, there are a lot of these companies in Mexico. Not yet, and we're working on it, right? Like, we want to make sure that out of this group, in this building, in the next 5 to 10 years, we do produce a unicorn. We do produce companies that are worth billions of dollars and have a global impact. But here in Guadalajara, Uyala is a great place to work. Wiseman's obviously a great place to work. Quesky is a great place to work that's run by an amazing entrepreneur who actually set up the Uyala operations here in Guadalajara. And so you already have options here in Mexico to work at these companies that are at hundreds of people, that are scaling significantly. You're going to meet amazing people. You're going to grow businesses. Out of Uyala, I believe at this point there have been about 15 startups that have been started from employees who came out of Uyala. In total, the companies have probably raised between $750 and $1 billion because you just get to learn more and see more. The next piece is the ecosystem. One of the things that we need to do here in Mexico is build the ecosystem around the technology industry. So one of the things that Silicon Valley does incredibly well is that the entire supply chain of building businesses has been figured out and has been optimized for technology businesses. So the lawyers, they won't actually send you an invoice until after you raise capital. They understand that some of the businesses will never raise capital and will just flame out. But the ones that do are ultimately going to be companies that they may be able to offer services when the company goes public. Same with accountants. Same with people who are actually building offices. You know, right now the Wiseline office is in the old Kodak Park here in Guadalajara. And when we had just opened, we held an office opening. And a day later, one of the security guards asked us, hey, we believe some of your employees are drinking at work. Because one of our security guards saw beer in your fridge. And we had to explain to them that, you know what? At our company, we have beer in our fridge 24/7. And we trust our employees to do what they're going to do and to do the right thing. She was just flabbergasted. We were trying to get our local business permit, and the person who came to look at our office didn't give us the business permit because we had beer in our fridge. And again, this is a small example, but it's one of the things that's ancillary but relevant to the overall ecosystem. The second thing that I think needs to change in terms of the ecosystem is this whole idea of not telling people what you're working on. There are so many entrepreneurs that I've met here in Mexico that just say, well, I'm working on a project, but I can't tell you what it is. It's stealth. You may steal my idea. And that also needs to change. Ideas evolve. When we first started Uyala, we were going to use computer vision to make clickable TV ads. I used to joke that I never wanted to see another Tampax ad on TV because I'm obviously not the target audience. And so we had built Uyala to actually fix that problem. But as we started talking to people and seeing what the real business problem was, we realized that most of the companies were still having a difficult time just putting their video online. And so the business and the company evolved